My voice is almost back on track. It's almost great. Except the fact that I'm still supposed to employ myself, teach myself. And I was doing this video and I have to redo it. Damn it. I'm gonna redraw you guys on a smaller blackboard because I have to take a lot less space. Because how a lot less space I need, really. I haven't thought, but I will put all 7 energies in a square. I never thought I was gonna be a thing, but actually is. It's very interesting. Just like I did with the problem solving video. Fuck. So annoying. Drawing this shit. Alright, whatever. I have to figure out how to do this. But it looks fine. So here's how it goes. Just like in problem solving video, you have 7 energies and 1 entrance point, which is energy number 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it's very interesting to note that even letters of the alphabet align to this. Fuck me, I'm not gonna use 8 anymore. Stupid 8. Hi, I'm stupid 8. Gonna use 6 size brush from now on. Much better, for fuck's sake. I needed to do this for a long time. To just reduce the size brush. The brush of the size. Oh fuck. I can't even fucking observe myself. But that's what it's fun about watching these videos. I actually don't even know what I'm gonna say. Because that's what happens, right? You can't really observe yourself that well. You just can't. And you should let it go as it goes. Okay, should I redraw it again? But I won't. What's funny is that each number has its own letter as well. So you start with a body. And anything that starts with B just kind of has its basics feeling, right? The basis, the blast, kind of like the starting point of the whole journey, right? Then you go to the next stage, and it's like a corner stage or a crystal stage. Then you go to A, and it's like active stage, where you come from a corner now, you kind of like switching direction. And again, every single arrow is an active energy, where every corner is a passive energy. There are also empty corners, and then there are dual corners, which have kind of like both energies but still remain passive. So that's very interesting. And again, in a problem solving video you saw 4 corners of 4 ways to solve problems, which means this kind of aligns very well, where you have to solve problems in a cycle. You enter a cycle through here and you finish a cycle into the the door. It's kind of like the door or a portal. So let's turn a 0 into a portal. Here we go. And I should probably like save all these little things, little symbols. When I want to describe, I can just pull them up and be like, oh, I created this. And people are really skeptical in terms of whenever you're gonna encounter a person that is creative and stuff like that. So awake people, yeah, I'm gonna come to this, like this video is gonna be about personalities, but what strikes me the most right now as an insight, awake people are gonna think like everyone else is a zombie, and zombies are gonna be like, who cares? I'm the only person that is relevant here, right? That's what zombies think. But still, even awake people kind of fall into that. It's just, yeah, once I'll start diving into personalities, maybe it's gonna clear up. I don't even know what's gonna happen. I know there are kind of 10-ish personalities, because dual personality is kind of weird. It's dual, right? It's almost like 2 personalities in one or whatnot. I'm still not sure. I'll have to back it up with examples. It's kind of like, it's really fun building theories before you can test them, right? Before you have all these experiences where you can just remember a theory and you're like, oh, it's actually relevant. So theories grow, and even without much reference, you can just pick it up and see if it actually has any significant, results. So we move on, we get F, or no, G. The G, the great, the God, the most advanced corner away from the portal. Then you have the F, and it kind of lands back down in a orderly fashion with the E and D following up. This kind of now I can replace this with S, P, and W and N, and it spells out spawned. Who would have thought that I would just take a pattern and it would fit all the energies? I'm not joking, right? It actually fits. You can put strength here and start as the key word, and everything with S kind of like, again, symbolizes start. And you have C and P letters for perception. Again, I don't have much reference with that. I can dive as much as possible, but there's nothing very significant about it. But when you play games like Fallout, you know, you have these traits like perception. What do they mean? I don't know what they mean. Just kind of, how do you get the experience? What kind of tools do you have on your body? Called senses. But senses come from here, so you kind of retrieve through the senses the experience. So the experience itself. The third letter here would be I, identity and stuff like that. So when you finish developing this, you have an identity. I guess I should put a 1 here, maybe 0 over here, because you put yourself outside. You know, I'm still developing this thing. It's really interesting. Alright. But yeah, spawned is gonna be like one of those weird words that suddenly has even more meaning than usually. Destination, like destiny, dream. It's almost like you don't even have to communicate with words, you can just communicate with letters. That's an idea. I'm not gonna joke about it, but because I'm not that advanced. Alright, let's continue. So as I say, there are... Now again, you look at the letters, you understand the graph. It's very interesting. This would be the graph. You have 1, 2, or no, you have a 2, you have a 3, you have a 1, you have 7, 6, and 5. Wait, is that... Where's the 4? Where is the 4? It's probably a 4 somewhere. There's a gradual decline. And you kind of land. The way I would showcase, and as I showcase in the video, it's kind of splashing out of the water and landing slowly. And then, you know, it's over. That's what you're trying to do with everything in life. Yeah, the first look is like what you're trying to do is how high can you get within water, but then you accelerate out of, you know, this challenge point. You challenge yourself to dive as deep as you can, and then you come back as this alpha person that wants to share all this stuff that he has found, and then you land this stuff into the consciousness of a whole. Now, the more consciousness there is, it's probably more difficult to kind of break through. I'm not sure how it works. It would make sense that it's a lot more difficult, simply because the internet is kind of a weird thing. You know, we're kind of more connected, but the way I would portray internet, I'll just draw a circle of consciousness or a map of consciousness, and I'm gonna be like, you know, scheming out this kind of like rigid route that you can usually take to map your brain out and just cut off the necessary parts. Because you only need the principles, and your memories, I still believe, are stored outside of your body. and kind of changed the thought that it's inside of some kind of soul. I want to make everything real and actually relevant. Because if something is not real, it kind of becomes unrelevant if you cannot sense it. And the thing is, there's that experiment that kind of correlates with this sensation, where you would have a fake arm instead of your real arm, and you actually would feel the touch if you get, the sense that, oh, this arm belongs to me, so I should sense something, right? And that's kind of weird. The thing is, I'm not sure if the experiment have been tested with using a really extensive, sensation, like trying to create a voodoo doll or voodoo arm. This voodoo thing is not something you can dismiss anymore, I would say. This is why I say memory stored outside of your body, and you can somehow interact with the memory. You can somehow even conjure spirits out of that. If, a person has had an item for his whole lifetime and just pressure that item, well, it's going to be attached to it. But how do you attach to an item? It's like you actually store something into that item, which is actually real memory. It would actually make no sense to store memory in your body, because you get a clear reference when you are seeing something or holding something that you could remind you of something, and you can see that all over the place. Like in every single story, you have these medallions or some kind of symbols that would remind people of certain events, would trigger certain patterns to, read the item's memory or something. Basically, everything is just a mini computer that is able to save memory without us even realizing, because, well, we are, we're consumed by our creations. And it's kind of weird, because that's the same way I live. I am basically consumed by the things I want to create for myself, by the reality I want to make for myself. It's kind of like complete detachment from everyone else, but at the same time, not at all. Like I don't want to do this. Just just on my own. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Being a single consciousness thinking for himself. It's kind of boring. That is absolutely boring. And depressing and all that stuff. It's always... yeah, you just get destroyed not being social. But yeah, we're gonna talk about all of this stuff. I'll take a break. I need to make more breaks. But again, I do believe voodoo exists. And I should actually make some research as well on voodoo, so I'm gonna come back. I should segment maybe into it should be dynamic. I just don't want to make these segments too short, where I kind of cut myself off and come back. That shouldn't be a case. But this is how I would look at the internet. Okay, there's one insight I wanted to share, is like how I work. And I might be like a slow person, but that's or give you an impression of a slow person, but this is what it comes from being calm and making calm decisions and making very accurate decisions instead of just, being a little bit under stress. That's what people are these days. They can't just calm down. Like, they have to push themselves hard because they grew up just in a state of war. It's like war has extended its arms and is still keeping us, in check. But the biggest deal that we have is like this fact that in the world we have countries, and these countries don't split up anymore. There's just no way for them to split up. They rigidified themselves. Something is wrong. And it is scary as well. But at the same time, I'm very hopeful. I don't see war to ever happen unless some elite idiots think they can, manage it without getting themselves completely destroyed and completely exposing the truth. But that's what they would actually want to do. Expose the world government so they can actually create it. And it's not a bad idea. Except I don't like that it's a government. It should be world anarchy. There are no rulers, but there is a system that kind of, guides people of how to do things. If you play enough games, you can put Hearthstone, for example. You just simply put an incentive to become the best in Hearthstone player. So you have to keep on grinding the same decks or learning about cards, whatever. Whatever is the way to get to the championship and stuff like that. Or you can be incentivized to create all the decks by how colorful and how wide of a variety you have of cards in Hearthstone, but at the same time, once you learn everything, you kind of like, there's nothing else I can create. That would be interesting. Or you can be disincentivized when people just play uncreative decks when you're being creative. So again, it depends. It really depends on the society, how you get motivated. But who creates the structure of the society is a question. But it's like who? Yeah. It's like a bad guy is gonna come out. And who's gonna do it? I would actually take responsibility to just create this system. But I would also, quickly spread that responsibility to other people. Because they can do stuff a lot better than I do. The question is who's gonna start the whole thing? Who's gonna figure out the main rules that such society should behave within? So far being successful with that. So let's check out a few things. Let's rest a little bit and I'll come back with some more insight. Before I'm off watching the Voodoo documentary to cover this topic and see if my way of thinking changes at all by what information I get. Because they're supposed to change, right? It's either gonna evolve or, get replaced with something else. But again, the most, drastic and much more respectable time is where your theories get destroyed, which is already built on top of pretty much a lot of evidence that there is some kind of energy that can be emitted into visible energy, into sensible energy. There's some kind of, you can pick up an item and you can release its past connections with people. And this is what I'm talking about. And you can probably program items to have this energy as well. It's like care is such a thing. That's how it works. I heard stories where people died in plane crashes, or there are some items in the basement of dead people, and they haunt, they're cursed, until you get rid of those items, you're gonna have a hard time. In this ridiculous documentary, 3-hour long documentary, I believe, where I heard about aliens and all the other crazy ass shit, a man goes, picks up some sand, and it's like this whole place is worshipped of some kind of goddess, and he starts to have really bad luck. He brings the sand back, or ships it rather, so he was on a vacation. He grabs some sand, then he ships it back, and everything is okay all of a sudden. So there's definitely that aspect, and I'm probably not gonna drop it away anymore because it's way too strong. It's reoccurring over and over again. The question is, how does it actually work, and can you actually use it in some way that would actually draw attention? Because that is the first thing I want to have, is, credibility for what I know. Because I feel like I do have quite a bit. Especially like every single video that I make, past the point where I, have this good setup, or rather, watchable setup. Past this point, everything is kind of more relevant, and I'll kind of have to redo the videos from the past where I talked about economy and stuff like this, where I just started off blackboarding. But yeah, it's pretty fun. It's always fun to keep on writing something that you're passionate on. And I just want to make programming as similar to this, so I don't stop programming either, even though I'm constantly going that direction. Like, that's kind of weird, but I still want to figure it out. I still have this very tiny trigger until I get into the mode of creating a lot of cool stuff. Alright. All I want is just I don't know, it's just, again, the short trigger, but maybe I lost my thought. It has been from the start, but again, I was distracted by school, and I kind of lost the grip completely. Now the work is kind of taking my time. It's a horrible experience to be a slave. shouldn't be looking at the time, really. That's one of the things that really should bother. When you look at the time, it's like, oh, I shouldn't be doing that. And yeah, I don't feel too passionate because it's like an active energy. Again, we're entering 4th week. It's the first day. And I assume I'm gonna be super productive. I'm just wondering, what the fuck am I starting with? I bought a bunch of food. I'm a little bit tired because I slept like 3 hours or something. 3-4 hours. So definitely sleep a bit more. And that's definitely taking a toll. Even though yesterday wasn't active. It kind of bothers me. It's 1 and 0. It's not like... But it's in and out, so... That's fine. We can kind of map 10 personality types. But I really want to make another rant about schools after what I watched. Just so ridiculous. You have 12 years plus 4, and it's like, oh, it's your choice, but no, it's not. You add plus 4 if you successfully brainwash a person. Otherwise you can't, right? You just can't push it that far. So some people are gonna be like, let's not go to college-ish stuff. College-ish places. So, alright. Some people are able to dive off like I am. And it was a fun ride. School was a fucking fun ride. At the start, and at certain events. And why do people want to keep on going forward? Like, what the fuck, man? Why are they so attached to society? Why they want to stick together? War again. Oh yeah, of course. War. It's basically war schools. Welcome to war schools. We're gonna stick together. We're gonna learn some relevant things. But we're gonna not learn how to learn. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Because that's the most important part, right? You learn how to learn. What does that mean? It's very simple, actually. You get ascended to the 3rd level of consciousness, which is mind. And what mind does, it creates patterns. So mind produces patterns, which is, I call magnetics, but we can call them rules that you can follow very easily. You just remember things, very small things that you can say to yourself over and over again. Not to do certain things. Not to do violence, for example. So you learn how to master mind, which means you don't need government, which is mind control, right? So you master your own mind, and you don't need the government. Then you know what's the point of the schools, is to stop you from learning, stop you from mastering the mind. And I'm still yet to experience a person that understands that within my social circle. and says like, holy shit, I shouldn't progress along the schools, because they're gonna completely shut me off from thinking what kind of rules I want for my life. Because people should obey the rules of nature, like a non-violence rule, and there's probably just nothing else. It's just stay out of violence, stay out of the way if possible. Now, if you like born a predator, there's no way you can undo who you are, because that's how you survive, which means you would have to kill yourself, which would be violence, which is like, where's this purpose coming from? Where's the purpose for predators coming from? Well, predators try to suppress a population of things that can, overwhelm other species. Like, so predators kind of keep species in balance, or that's the idea so far. Now, yeah, we have predators, right? But where was I? Yeah, you just followed the no violence rule. So you just embrace whatever you are, whatever one else is, but at the same time you're trying to get as much value as possible, because sometimes you embrace two things and they start to contradict each other, so you try to, be fair with both sides, so they don't contradict each other. They try to understand each other more, but in order to understand each other, they have to have a ability to agree, where ability to agree is an ability to create rules. Now, obviously, okay, that's a very important distinction. In order to agree, people have to create rules, right? If you want to agree with another person, first you have to understand that person, so you have to make rules, which is called language, and all the other stuff that you're agreeing about is also like this personal ruleship thing. So agreement can only come from the mind, which means you have to develop it first in order to agree, and everyone who is a zombie is not going to be able to have this ability to agree on things. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. You can very easily spot a person that is mindless if you just can't make very simple agreements. And let me tell you, people that are still in schools are very likely to not be able to do this. And I don't know what's gonna be my story when talking to my friends. It's kind of scary, but I'm still hopeful, right? Like, even if I notice, which I already did, I noticed this inability to agree, but I do sense an ability to, put this thing together. There's just one problem, like how to place them socially so they would, be satisfied where they are in life. How to make mind something that they need to have is like really, like, people think this is fucking useless, but at the same time, government is a single mind thing. So whatever country is, it can exist of a single person's effort. So any government job, whether it's police, whether it's school, or hospitals and all that garbage that they're called government jobs, you don't need that if you just have your own mind. Kind of fully developed, that's what fully developed country looks like, but in your head. That's it. You don't need anything, because you kind of know. And if you don't know, you're gonna be like, oh, let's talk with other people, with other countries, with other minds, and we can trade information. It's super easy. You just have to think about yourself as a country. This is the scale that you want to apply to yourself. That's when you kind of feel really damn powerful compared to people who don't own their minds. And that is why it's kind of annoying. It kind of sounds selfish and shit, but really, if you don't go through to the next stage and start making agreements with people, you will not become a personality that wants things. You will not try to achieve things. You will not try to go against other people if you don't think the other people care as much about things that you care about. So it's like, it's a total mess. Otherwise, you just follow orders. You just stay out of everyone's way, just like being pushed around super easily. And then you push me around, a person that opens up his mind, but it's like, I also respect everyone else's mind, but no, I won't anymore if I just do a very simple test and see if we cannot agree on things. Then you don't have a fucking mind. Then I can't push you around and fuck you if you disagree with me. Because you can't disagree, you can't even agree, right? What the fuck is that? Don't follow any rules. You don't have your own mind. Oh, okay, if you can't follow rules, right? You can't be a Christian, which again, any form of any belief structure, and you can figure out what is a belief structure by simply understanding who is creating rules here. Because there's one rule, no violence, right? So who's creating rules? You or somebody else? That's it, that's all you need to know. If you're the one creating rules, congratulations. You're a full-minded person. Otherwise, you have a long way to go to learn the stuff that the school has blocked you from doing, because it said it's wartime, you have to learn this and that. Gotta be fully distracted by all these minuscule things, because things are happening, things are changing. Holy shit, man. You gotta be prepared for anything. It's horrible. And people who don't like politics or something like that, they actually go even further away. It's like saying, okay, I don't understand what my parents tell me to do, but I will not try to, understand my parents or anything. This way you're just gonna get completely destroyed by the politics if you don't try to, engage and try to understand what the fuck is happening on that front. I'm just getting on the surface level. Whatever impacts me, that's important. But you need to do research if you don't understand things, and they still impact you if you cannot detach from that. So that's the thing. Like, oh, I'm not interested in politics. It's a horrible thing to say, which I get from my friend. If you don't understand what politics even is, it's like, oh, I don't really care about politics, but have to understand that, right? Like, you have been schooled to understand all these different things, but like, oh, I guess they left out something. Wow. It's kind of so fucking weird. Like, you get on the surface level of consciousness, you learn about all these different things, but you don't go the whole fucking circle. Sure, you can't. And that's the whole point. Because that's what government is just trying to map itself out in your brain. It's gonna try to teach you things that, the government knows is kind of needed for its existence. Right? For anything to exist, it has to be mapped in consciousness. Otherwise, it's like, you have to still discover that, or it just dies off. If you want an ability of hunting crocodiles or whatever, you have to pass it through generations over generations. Any kind of knowledge. Otherwise, it dies off, and, well, that's pretty bad. That's something that would haunt us for a long time once we realize how much we have wasted over time. So I have 12 rigid years of school. It becomes more and more condensed with information as the faster we can, learn all these things. The faster we can develop our identities. The last time I visited school, I was told, people are so different these days. By my teacher, right? And now I understand, like, this is fucking obvious. People just are able to create their identities a lot faster. And there's no war going on, so, of course. The only war that is left over is the position of power, which again I would call social pressure, where on a higher scale of power you're pressured a lot less than you usually would be pressured, simply because there's slavery in the world. You got slaves pressuring the lower class slaves and whatever. People who don't have an identity is gonna try to latch on to a higher identity. And those who do have an identity is gonna swim on top of everything and have their own lives. But the way to go is probably just trying to get the fuck out of here. Get out of the circle. And this circle probably exists in every single government. So that's the G part. That's the governmental structure right there. And you have to get out of this mind control, but there is no indication of how to do it, how to create your own government. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Where's the freedom to do that? That's the most important freedom of all. How the fuck do you create your own government? Now the best way to create it is to create a community around some kind of game. Because, well, you just create art, and art becomes into this form of self-expression, of expression of ideas, and then this can become a governmental force to kind of put things together, because people are so obsessed by rules that games especially, they follow rules, so people are gonna be obsessed by those rules because they want rules. They very much need rules in their lives, and they would grow up with the game and they'd be like, oh man, I should follow those rules instead, because those are awesome. You know what I mean? For a rule maker like myself, and I'm pretty well experienced by now, it's really fun, and in games it does exactly what you think. It creates itself. It creates those patterns that are very fun to play around with, and or play with, not around. But yeah, that's what games are. Just a new level of art. It's a new way of introducing rules and ideas. Again, it's kind of the same thing, really. That's very interesting. It's very interesting. Again, governments are leaking out these days. There's just no real conscious decision that you can make and like say, oh, I'm gonna create my own government. What you have to do is create a community around art, and the best art form is games. It has a G on it, right? The G for government, the G for the highest form of whatever, of consciousness, or whatever energy that is. But that's the thing, that's the solution that I always had, and now it's even more clear that there is a way, just nobody's talking about it. That there is a way to create non-mind control by giving people the freedom. It's like the time where Minecraft was created, it actually did the same thing. It gave people the freedom. It gave people the freedom to do this insane things, to create their own way of bending the rules in their own way. And when you start bending the rules, you start to, create the mind. In order to bend the rules, you have to have the mind to do so. So now that I'm conscious about it, I feel like I can actually create a game right now. This is what I wanted to do today. I wanted to grasp a concept of how to make the game. But what I did is just understood what game is. It's a government replacement for the government. Minecraft was a worldwide phenomenon. Every single game that tried to, beat Minecraft in its popularity so far has not come close. Simply because that game gave a lot of freedom. That game gave a lot of alternatives for me to choose from, what to focus upon, what your purpose in life was, and you can actually touch the things you want to bend, touch the rules, touch the ideas. You have those basic ideas of tools, testing all these different things and different speeds. I had the ability to express my idea of Spawn the Creeps Forge, which is progression idea, where you jump from one thing to another and you don't cheat. This is fun because this is exactly what I talk about as the biggest thing to learn, and it is jump, and how I put on this cheater sign when someone would cheat doing the game. Right, I don't want anyone to cheat the game. I want them to be fair with themselves. But of course, if the game is kind of broken, then you're like, I don't think it's meant to be that way. Probably have to like figure out a way to cheat this through though. Right, so that's not what I'm talking about. That also challenges me to create a, you know, good game with good concepts where it's possible to understand them to a very fine level. The thing is, Minecraft was a very simple game as well. You could very well understand it. What I would do is kind of hide concepts a little bit more under a few more layers, which Minecraft kind of did because it had a lot of interactions. It's kind of like, oh god, guys, oh my god. Was Notch aware of this? Did Notch did that? Did Notch actually did that? Because it changes one letter and it becomes mind. In fact, you just have to send the letter from E to D, and what happens? Mine becomes Minecraft, which exactly what it means, right? Fuck me, man. Are you serious? This is fucked up. That's why it was the best game ever. In fact, that's why Spawned is gonna be even better. It actually aligns with every single letter in this system by replacing a few, but they still align in terms of their meanings. I can't call my game BCAG Fed, but I can name it Spawned. And to see this is like, wow. It exactly depicts what the game was, and it has released a lot of people, but it also attached a lot of people into. That's the thing. A lot of people died when Microsoft took over. I'm really sad. I don't see Minecraft anymore. After Microsoft took over, it's not cool. It's a corporation now. It's not a free butterfly idea. But I am willing to beat Minecraft then. It seems like a butterfly got shut off, but yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. I have to make a blackboard about this, because this is fucking ridiculous. Okay. We're in for a whole fucking hour. We're almost done. I just can't believe this shit. This is it. This is my purpose in life. Wow. Alright. And I also have to poop. But I will poop after I just stare at my ability to get into the 4th week successfully. Understanding the purpose first, and then I'm not sure, maybe I will be able to achieve it in just a few days. Get the scratch going. Get the ball rolling. Start the roller coaster ride when getting off the surface. That's the thing, right? All I need to do in programming right now is land on a platform which I started to call Spawned. I basically spawn myself out of waters of this deep bullshit that I'm into from chaos into the light. Again, once I'm out there, the shit is gonna go rolling real fast. There's no way I'm gonna stop. I might dip a little bit, but that's it. That is it. And there will be layers of waters over and over again. But this is the big one. This is it. Creating a government. Now I no longer can call it a community anymore. But that's where it's gonna start. It's gonna start with C, and it's gonna become a G. It's gonna kick some ass. It's gonna destroy the fucking world. Not what Minecraft did. Because we haven't heard Notch talk about this stuff. We haven't heard Notch talking about ideas that he tried to convey as if he never had them. He just got inspired by, randomness. Where I would go from completely different direction and be very precise of what I'm trying to do. In fact, this is harder because you always have to remember this. But not anymore. I can just say to myself, you just have to work. You just have to put everything you have. Because everything you want will come true if you just work hard enough. Because you have the mind, you can create rules. It's almost like a message to myself. To do it. It's so easy to get lost. And that was yesterday. I got pretty depressed. But every single week, I get enlightened again. I get reset on the right track. On the right minecart. Ah, man. You serious? Fuck me. Hope you guys enjoy seeing me being completely crushed by my insights sometimes. That's why I'm doing these. Without them, I wouldn't be even, getting the insight. Without drawing symbols and putting them all together. At the same time, this should really give you food for your mind to create your rules and ideas, to improve on previously existed ones, and to relive your life with those ideas. The thing is, would you choose to reborn but with everything that you know? Sure, it would be fun to test things out. The thing is, your children are gonna do that exact thing. But even more fun is to come back and understand. And you can relive it. You can imagine. If you develop your imaginations, which is still the mind, you develop your... I actually want to do a separate video on that. Imagination is quite a topic. And I'll think about it at work and see if I come with any conclusions. But right now I have to rest and consume this idea and say to myself that this is it. This is where I start working real hard. Real hard. The fourth point is outside already. So, but the start of the week is here somewhere. Right, so we're gonna have a very nice splash. Yeah, that's why I get super depressed in the end of the week, and now I'm like, oh man, I'm getting upwards now. I'm still depressed, I'm still in a lot of problems, but I feel the movement, and it's real fast. Imagine me getting even more enlightened. That would be fucking badass. Wow, I can't fucking wait. No, I'm really prepared for this. I spent tons of years researching what games are, learning all the patterns that I'll be doing. I have went a long road, and now I'm conscious about what I'm doing and what's the purpose of that. And that's cool. It's cool, I can't wait to see the difference between the point that I am right now and the point that I will be in the end of the week, and whether I'm right or wrong about this. The difference that it makes. So see you next week, because I'm probably gonna specially shut myself off just for this occasion and not make videos. But again, I kind of want to make videos. I kind of probably gonna make about imagination or whatever I come up with. Yeah. Who knows? That's the thing, like, you would think you would splash out with full control, and you're like, I kinda lose control and fall down again. It's kind of gravity, but you still kind of float. Yeah, it's just me trying to figure out the patterns. Who knows if it's even correct, but that's how letters, align. First the second, the third, the first letter. That's the whole pattern. Alright, see you guys next time.